Have you ever wondered why some people, even well into their 90s, still live with energy, clarity, and independence? I know a woman who does exactly that. At 94 years old, she cooks her own meals, tends to her garden, and spends joyful afternoons playing with her great grandchildren without a single prescription pill or special assistance. Whenever her friends ask for her secret, she just smiles. The truth is simple: it's not a strict diet, it's not grueling workouts. Her secret lies in small, consistent morning habits that she has practiced faithfully for decades. Now, maybe you've heard people say, that's just what happens when you get old, weakness, pain, memory loss. But she firmly believes and proves every single day that aging does not have to mean decline. Think about it for a moment. What if at 94 you could still walk out into your garden, cook your own breakfast, and greet the morning with a smile and a steady step? Wouldn't that feel like a gift? In this video, I'll take you inside her world, sharing the powerful yet simple habits that have kept her body strong, her mind sharp, and her heart full of joy. And perhaps they can do the same for you. You know, for the longest time, I believed stretching was the best way to wake up my body in the morning. Maybe you did too. I had those old VHS tapes from the 90s touching my toes, twisting my back, rolling my neck. But as I got older, especially past my 70s, I started noticing something troubling. Instead of feeling loose and energized, I often felt pinches in my lower back, more stiffness, and sometimes even dizziness. Has that ever happened to you? You try to help your body, but somehow it feels worse. That's when I learned an important truth. The stretches that worked in your 40s don't always serve you in your 70s or 80s. Our joints hold less moisture tissues, aren't as flexible, and the spine becomes more sensitive. What once was healthy exercise can actually cause tiny injuries. The good news: movement is still essential, just in a smarter, gentler way. Today, I follow a simple 7-minute morning mobility routine. It starts with shoulder circles to wake up the upper body. Then, while seated, I do gentle marching in place, lifting one knee, then the other. After that, I step into a doorway for a chest stretch, undoing years of hunching. Next are supported squats, just bending the knees slightly while holding a counter for balance. And finally, ankle circles while seated 1 foot at a time. That's it, 7 minutes. No floor mats, no strain, no pain. Yet the results are powerful. I move through my mornings without stiffness. I walk with confidence, and I can still carry groceries and play with my grandchildren. My dear friend Beverly, who is 87, thought she'd always need a walker. After just 2 weeks of this routine, she called me with tears of joy. I walked across my living room without holding on to anything. Mobility isn't about vanity, it's about dignity. It's about being able to rise from a chair, reach for the cupboard, and step into each day with independence. And the best part, you can start tomorrow. Just 7 minutes that could change how your entire day and maybe even your future feels. Every morning before the noise of the day begins, I sit with a small notebook and write down 3 things I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's as simple as a warm cup of tea, the sound of birds outside my window, or a phone call from my granddaughter. It doesn't have to be big. In fact, the small things are often the ones that bring the most peace. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to start the day with worry bills, health issues, the endless list of chores? But when I take those first minutes to focus on gratitude, the weight lifts and the day feels lighter. Science agrees. Researchers at Harvard University found that people who keep a gratitude journal experience less stress, better moods, and even improved sleep. Gratitude literally changes the brain. It boosts dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that help us feel happier and calmer. I think of my dear friend, an 89-year-old woman who has kept a gratitude journal for more than 10 years. Every night before bed, she writes down 3 blessings. She told me once, "It's the reason I can sleep peacefully. I don't go to bed with worries, I go to bed with thanks." And she's right, her anxiety is lower, and her rest is deeper than many people decades younger. The truth is, gratitude doesn't make our day longer, but it makes every moment feel more meaningful. You don't need fancy journals or expensive pens, just a simple notebook and a willingness to pause. Tomorrow morning, I encourage you to try it. Write down 3 things, small or big, that you're thankful for. Maybe it's the breath in your lungs, the smile of a loved one, or the sunlight on your face. Start your day with thanks, and you'll discover that gratitude is not just an emotion, it's a daily practice that can reshape your entire outlook on life. Let me ask you something. What's the very first thing you drink in the morning? For most people, it's coffee. I used to do the same. I'd wake up stiff, shuffle to the kitchen, pour myself a cup, and hope the fog in my head would lift by noon. But here's the truth. Coffee was not helping me. It was actually making things worse. You see, while we sleep, our bodies lose nearly 1 liter of water just through breathing and skin evaporation. That's 4 cups gone before we even get out of bed. And then what do most of us reach for? Coffee, a drink that dehydrates us even more. No wonder so many mornings feel heavy, stiff, and cloudy. Science backs this up. A Johns Hopkins study found that even mild dehydration can reduce brain function by 25%. Imagine that 1/4 of your clarity, focus, and memory lost simply because your body is thirsty. The solution is surprisingly simple. Before breakfast, before coffee, even before conversation, drink a full 16 ounces of room temperature water with just a pinch of natural mineral salt. Not table salt, not flavored powder, just pure mineral salt. That tiny amount helps your cells absorb water faster, restoring balance after a long night. If you like, you can add a squeeze of lemon for freshness. The benefits show up quickly. Within days, stiffness begins to fade, thoughts become clearer, and energy rises. My friend Rose, who is 82, struggled with headaches and dizziness for years. Doctors prescribed medication, but nothing worked. When she finally tried this water routine, she laughed at how simple it sounded. But only 3 days later, her headaches disappeared. After a week, she said, "I stood up this morning without grabbing the wall." It's not magic, it's biology. Your body is desperate for hydration in the morning, and when you give it what it needs, it rewards you with energy, clarity, and strength. So tonight, before bed, fill a glass and place it on your nightstand. And tomorrow morning, before coffee, before anything else, drink deeply. 1 glass of water, 1 pinch of salt, 1 act of kindness for your body. And trust me, your body will thank you. Do you remember when mornings used to feel fresh, when sunlight poured through the curtains, and you felt eager to start the day? I remember that feeling too, but I also remember when it began to fade. In my 70s, even though I kept the same routine, bed by 10, up by 6, I still woke up exhausted. I'd sit with my coffee watching the world come alive while I felt stuck in a fog. It wasn't until my granddaughter asked Grandma, "Why don't you sit on the porch in the mornings anymore?" that I realized what I had lost. You see, our bodies are guided by an internal clock, the circadian rhythm. It doesn't just affect sleep, it controls more than 150 functions: hormones, digestion, mood, immune strength, even the way our bodies repair overnight. But this clock needs to be reset every single day. And the reset button is sunlight, not the glow of a lamp, not the brightness of indoor bulbs, real, natural, outdoor morning light. Research from Stanford University and the University of Colorado shows that just 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight can boost serotonin, the feel-good brain chemical, by more than 40%. That same light also signals your brain to stop producing melatonin, which helps you wake up naturally and sleep better at night. I began a new habit within 30 minutes of waking. I step outside, sometimes with tea, sometimes just breathing deeply. I don't wear sunglasses. I let the light touch my eyes and skin. Even on cloudy mornings, the light is strong enough to do its job. The results are profound. My friend Helen, who is 81, battled insomnia for years. Pills didn't work, teas didn't work. She thought nothing could help. But when she tried this morning light habit, she called me a week later, astonished. I fell asleep at 9:30 and didn't wake up until 6. I haven't slept like that in a decade. We've been told to stay busy, stay inside, stay productive. But the truth is, our bodies are wiser. They crave the rhythm of nature. So, tomorrow morning, open the door, step outside, let the sunlight touch your face, let your eyes drink in the morning. It's not just light, it's life. We often think of health in terms of food, exercise, or medications. But have you ever considered that a simple conversation, a warm hello in the morning, can be just as powerful as any pill? For many years, I believed staying strong meant focusing only on my body. But over time, I realized something just as vital: my heart and mind needed connection. That's why I made it a habit to spend just 5 minutes each morning connecting with someone. Sometimes it's a quick phone call to my sister. Sometimes it's sending a cheerful text to a friend. And often, it's as simple as stepping outside and greeting a neighbor with a smile. It may not sound like much, but these moments of connection truly matter. Science confirms this. University of Michigan researchers found that frequent social interaction can reduce the risk of dementia by an astonishing 43%. Think about that: almost half the risk lowered not by medicine, but by conversation. And it's not only about memory. When we connect with others, our bodies release oxytocin, the bonding hormone which lowers stress, calms the heart, and even boosts immunity. No supplement in the world can replace the power of human warmth. I think of my mornings in the garden. As I water the plants, my neighbor often walks by with her dog. We pause, we laugh, we share little stories. It may seem small, but it fills the soul. That 5 minute ritual lifts my spirits for the entire day. One friend once told me, I don't have time for all that. But the truth is, you don't need hours. Just a few minutes of genuine connection can make you healthier, happier, and sharper. So tomorrow morning, instead of rushing straight into chores, take a moment, pick up the phone, wave at your neighbor, share a kind word. Because sometimes a simple hello is better medicine than vitamins. And while a warm hello can nourish the heart, there's something else every morning that can strengthen the mind. You see, mornings are not just a fresh start for the body, they're also the most powerful time for the brain. Scientists call it the brain's plastic window. In these first few minutes after waking, your mind is more open, more flexible, more ready to build new connections. Levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, are at their peak, acting like fertilizer for your neurons. But here's the catch: if you don't use this window, it closes. The opportunity fades. And instead of sharpening your memory, you may find yourself losing it little by little. That's why I started what I call my 4-minute morning mind tune-up. It's simple, gentle, and doesn't require any fancy apps or equipment. Just 4 minutes. The first minute, I do a bit of simple math, nothing complicated, just enough to wake up memory pathways. The second minute, I learn 4 new words. I say them out loud and use at least one in a sentence. The third minute, I close my eyes and visualize my day, seeing myself move calmly, confidently, joyfully. And the final minute, I practice a little recall or language exercise to keep my mind agile. 4 minutes. That's it. But the effect? Remarkable. I used to fumble for words in conversations. Now I feel more fluent. I used to forget names at church. Now I greet people by name, even those I haven't seen in years. My friend Margaret, who is 88, began this routine after hip surgery. While her body needed rest, her brain stayed active. Her doctor was astonished at how strong her cognitive recovery was compared to other patients her age. The truth is, memory loss isn't always about aging. It's often about neglect. And reclaiming it doesn't require hours of puzzles or expensive programs. It just requires a few intentional minutes each morning. So tomorrow, before chores, before the noise of the day, give your mind those 4 minutes. Because you're not losing memory, you're strengthening it 1 minute at a time. We often hear that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But as we age, breakfast becomes more than just important, it becomes essential. Here's why: after the age of 60, our bodies face something called anabolic resistance. That means even if you're eating the same foods you did in your younger years, your muscles no longer respond the same way. It becomes harder to build or maintain strength. And that's why so many older adults feel weaker, lose balance, or struggle with daily tasks. But there is good news. Researchers at Tufts University discovered that eating 25 to 30 grams of high quality protein within the first hour of waking can make a huge difference. Those who followed this practice had stronger grip, better balance, and experienced much slower muscle loss no matter what they ate for the rest of the day. So, what does this look like in real life? For me, it's often simple: 2 scrambled eggs, half a cup of cottage cheese, and a warm cup of green tea. Sometimes I switch it up with Greek yogurt, a handful of nuts, and some berries. Other mornings, I make a quick smoothie with protein powder, almond milk, and half a banana. The key isn't fancy recipes, it's making sure that your body gets that 25-30 grams of protein right at the start of your day. And just as important, what not to eat. Sugary cereals, muffins, or fruit juice may give you a quick burst of energy, but they cause a crash soon after. Instead of fueling your body, they rob you of energy and make it harder for your brain to stay clear. I think of my friend Grace, who is now 91. She used to eat toast fruit and coffee every morning, and she wondered why she felt weak and tired. Once she started adding eggs and yogurt, she told me, "I feel strong again. I feel like myself." Strength isn't just for the young. It's for anyone who chooses to fuel their body the right way. So tomorrow morning, before reaching for toast or coffee, ask yourself, am I feeding my habit or feeding my strength? And after nourishing the body with strength, there is one final habit that nourishes the soul: mindful breathing. Every morning, I take just 3 to 5 minutes to sit quietly and breathe with intention. Not rushing, not shallow, but deep and steady breathing in through the nose, holding for a moment, and gently exhaling through the mouth. It may sound simple, almost too simple, but that's exactly where its power lies. Most of us breathe without thinking. Yet when we pause to breathe mindfully, everything changes. The noise in the mind softens, the body relaxes, and the heart feels lighter. Science supports this ancient practice. Researchers at UCLA found that slow, mindful breathing can lower blood pressure, reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, and even sharpen focus. Imagine that something as natural as breathing can calm the body more effectively than many pills. I remember a woman in her 70s from a meditation group I once joined. She began practicing mindful breathing each morning only for a few minutes. After 2 months, she shared with tears in her eyes, "My anxiety has lifted, and for the first time in years, I'm sleeping peacefully." The truth is, every mindful breath is a gift to your body, a gift of calm, of presence, of healing. And you don't need a special mat candles or a quiet mountain retreat. Just sit where you are, on a chair, at the edge of your bed, or even in the garden. Close your eyes if you'd like. Place a hand on your chest, another on your belly. Feel the breath moving through you, reminding you that you are alive here now. So tomorrow morning, before the world rushes in, give yourself those 3 minutes. Breathe deeply, breathe slowly, breathe consciously. Because sometimes the simplest act, the one we do thousands of times a day without noticing, can become the most powerful habit of all. So here we are, my friend. We've walked together through 8 simple, powerful morning habits. They may seem small on their own, but when woven together, they create a morning routine that can truly transform your life. Let's take a moment to remember them. First, hydration, a tall glass of mineral water to wake your body from the inside out. Second, morning sunlight, nature's reset button that tells your brain it's time to rise and shine. Third, 4 minutes of brain exercise, little challenges that sharpen memory and clarity. Fourth, 7 minutes of gentle mobility movements that keep your body free, steady, and independent. Fifth, a protein-rich breakfast fuel that strengthens muscles and slows down the loss of vitality. Sixth, gratitude journaling, writing down blessings that calm your heart and lift your spirit. Seventh, social connection, those warm hellos and short conversations that protect the mind and nurture joy. And finally, mindful breathing, 3 minutes of deep presence, reminding you that every breath is a gift. Now, maybe you're thinking, 8 habits sound like too much. But here's the truth. You don't have to start with all of them. You don't have to change everything at once. Just choose one. One small habit to begin with tomorrow morning. Because transformation isn't about giant leaps. It's about consistent steps. Day after day, choice after choice, until your mornings begin to feel lighter, clearer, more alive. I am 94 years old, and I still live independently. I cook my own meals, tend my garden, laugh with my great-grandchildren, and walk with energy. Not because of luck, not because of medicine, but because of mornings like these. Your body is still listening. Your mind is still blooming. And your beautiful life, is still waiting for you to show up with energy and grace. So tomorrow morning, before the rush of the day takes over, ask yourself, am I feeding my strength? Am I honoring my mind? Am I giving my soul a chance to breathe? The answer begins not with changing everything, but simply with changing your mornings. And I promise you this, it's never too late to feel alive again.